my channel. It's your girl Mia. If you are new here and if you are not new, welcome back, girl. So today's video is going to be a show like analyst, character analyst kind of video about one of my favorite shows growing up, and so one of my favorite shows to watch, which is Sister Sister. Y'all, I love this show. It's such a like funny, cozy, warm kind of like sitcom for me and brings back a lot of nostalgia. So I do enjoy watching this, kind of like a little comfort show for me. And I just wanted to like get into this show a little bit with y'all. So if y'all love like show analysis kind of videos or like character analysis breakdown kind of videos, this video's for you. You'll love it here. So I'm not gonna do like super deep because I mean I'm trying not to make this video crazy long, but we'll see. I may have to do like more parts to this and just like make it into a series, but we'll see how it goes. But I hope you guys end up liking this video. I do have a new little background. This is a new little corner of my room. I'm kind of feeling the vibe. Let me know if y'all like this setup. And there was something else I wanted to tell y'all. Comments like what y'all think, if y'all agree with some of my opinions about the show and about the characters, if y'all agree with like any of my perspectives, because I'm just gonna throw this out there, y'all. These are my personal opinions, okay? We're gonna say that again. These are my personal opinions. These are my personal perspectives about Sister Sister. This is not rule of thumb. This is not law. So I don't need y'all going crazy on me in the comments, okay? We can just openly discuss. Y'all can let me know what y'all think and y'all opinions, and it can be something just fun, because that's what this video is supposed to be, fun. I will be like, if y'all see me like looking down from time to time, it's because my laptop is like right in front of me and I broke down notes because I did a little bit of studying for this video, watched a few episodes that I may like reference throughout the video. So yeah, let's get into it. So this show came out a while ago, y'all. It's been years. I really think I really think the show came out in 1997. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was 1997. So show has been out for a very long time, and I'm just gonna go over like a little bit of background about the show just to give a little bit of reference. Just the premise of the show is about two teenage girls who are adopted, and they end up meeting by running into each other at the mall and realizing like, hey, you look like me, I'm adopted, you're adopted. Long story short, they realize that they are twins and that they are obviously sisters. So they end up moving in together. Their parents moved them in together, and they want to now do life together, like moving forward. And so my personal opinion, I feel like a lot of the show is about them finding each other, but now learning how to coexist together as not just sisters, but also twins, because as I stated before, they just met. So before this, they had their own individual identities, lives. They were adopted and grew up as only children, and now literally suddenly they have a sister, let alone a twin sister, and they're now living together. That's a lot. The first character we're gonna talk about is Tia. So Tia is the twin that is written and perceived to be logical. She's academically driven, very book smart. She is very responsible, comes off as like the more mature twin, very practical, very logical in her thinking. I think, from my opinion, I have like noticed a little bit in some of the episodes that she tends to like explode a little bit when she gets stressed or overwhelmed, and she'll like lash out on Tamara or, you know, her mom, family, basically. So, and Tia is the complete opposite of Tamara. So let's talk a little bit about Tamara. So Tamara is known to be the more bubbly, expressive, very outgoing, laid back, and basically she wears her heart on her sleeve. So Tamara leads with her emotions. That's what a lot of her actions stem from. She leads with how she feels, and that's just how it is. Tia's the opposite. She doesn't really move off of how she feels a lot of the time. It's more so logic and what she thinks. And yeah, and we'll talk about a little bit about each girl's upbringing and how I feel like it affected their personalities, and then also them in their sibling relationship. So we're talking about the girls separately and their personalities, and then we'll talk about how their personalities show up as siblings. Let's talk about Tia's upbringing and what we know about her upbringing from the show. So Tia grew up with a single mom. She was adopted by Lisa, and so she grew up just her and Lisa up until the point that she met Tamara. Now, what I observed in Lisa and Tia's relationship is that Lisa is a bit, I wouldn't even say strict. Lisa is a bit like fun. She's like a fun parent. She's a little bit more laid back. She does have rules for Tia, but they do have somewhat of like a friend relationship too. It's a mother-daughter relationship, but also a little bit of a friend relationship. Like Tia can confide in her, and also Lisa confides in Tia sometimes. Like it just depends on what's going on, but she does let her in on some of the things that she has going on in her life. And so one of those things specifically that I want to reference when it comes to Lisa also like being open with Tia about some things that she has going on. So yeah, there was a episode where Lisa kind of let Tia know, or Tia was already aware about a personal, struggle that Lisa was going through. And she kind of tagged her along for that journey slightly. Like this wasn't a huge insight, but just a little bit that I picked up on from one of the episodes. In this episode, Lisa is sleeping on the couch at one scene, and Tia comes and wakes her up, and in the dream she's dreaming about all this money she has and giving Tia money, and she really has become successful in her career. And if y'all don't know, Lisa is a aspiring fashion designer. And so in the episode, Tia wakes her up and she's like, "Mom, like wake up, and Lisa wakes up and she's just like kind of down because she tells her what she was dreaming about. And Tia was just like, "Oh, no luck in like finding a job yet." And she had like the newspaper laid on top of her and fell asleep like while looking for a job. And when they discussed that, it kind of gave me a little bit more insight now as an adult watching the show, that Lisa confided, or maybe confiding is the right word, but Lisa opened up to Tia in some of those aspects, as far as like her trying to find a job and not having one or not having any money. That's something that's very clear that Tia is aware of in their relationship. Now, I think that, I think from that aspect of her upbringing, it did make Tia very mature and more mature than Tamara in some ways, because she had more insight about things that are going on in life and that can happen in life that most teenagers probably wouldn't worry about or know about. Some parents may try to like hide it as long as they can, or may not let you know up front if they were unemployed. And so I feel like that part of her upbringing did affect her maturity. It made her a little bit more mature in some ways. Even throughout the episode, when Lisa did get like a quick gig, she ran and told Tia, was super excited to tell her, and it just gave off the impression like they have a very open, comfortable relationship with each other. That also played into Tia's personality and the maturity aspect, and then how it showed up in her dynamic with her sister. Now on the flip side with Tamara, her upbringing was the opposite. So Tamara grew up and was adopted by Ray and his wife. His wife passed away when Tamara was really little, so she mainly grew up as an only child with her dad. Now, Ray financially is the complete opposite of Lisa. Ray has a pretty stable career, a good career with his limousine business, and then Lisa was more so like she was an entrepreneur, just taking quick jobs. She's trying to get her dream job off the ground, so financial struggles do come with that. And so with Ray being more financially stable, Tamara never had to worry about like money struggles or anything like that. And as a parent, Ray is also very strict. He has a lot of rules for Tamara, and he is more, what's the word I'm looking for? Uptight as a parent, and he sheltered Tamara a lot. Like, Tamara was spoiled, she was sheltered, and sometimes kind of coddled too. So I felt like that affected her personality a lot too, to where she has a little bit more carefree of a personality when it comes to life, and she's not as mature in some ways, and she just kind of like I said, just more carefree, more free-spirited, because her dad takes care of things for her. He does a lot of things for her, so she doesn't have to worry about it. And understandably, that's his baby, his only child, so we understand that. And Lisa, she does the exact same thing. She does a lot for Tia, but it's a little bit limited in what she can do due to finances in some ways. She can't buy her every little thing she wants and all of that. But like I said, I think Tamara's upbringing affected her maturity level, and in the opposite reaction made it, she's not as mature as Tia is in some ways. So yeah, now let's get into a little bit more Tia and Tamara now as sisters. We're gonna just go into a little bit more as their relationship as sisters and now trying to coexist. So a common thing that I noticed throughout like the show is that their personalities were very opposite, which of course caused conflict between them, but it also pushed for them to become closer and both of them to grow in different ways. And I felt like that's something that was really, really nice how the writers put that in. Like, of course, it started off as conflict, like most sitcoms do, but then it turns into like a growing moment for both of the sisters, or if not one of them, which I really like. And one of the episodes, it's called Double Exposure. This was season 4. And in this episode, Tamara had broken out because she had allergic reaction. It was to some moisturizer, and it was picture day. So the next day she was upset. She asked Tia if she could take the picture for her, and Tia ends up taking the picture, and her picture that she took for Tamara was better than the picture she took for herself. And with Tia taking this picture for Tamara, it turned out that she won like class beauty from the picture, and the hottest guy in school ended up asking Tamara to the dance because of the picture, and Tia ends up getting the short end of the stick on this because the picture she took for herself, she got teased for it. It wasn't a good picture. Meanwhile, Tamara's getting all this like attention, and good attention, of course, about this picture. Everyone's calling her beautiful. It was one of the best pictures. It was one of the best pictures in the yearbook. Like really giving it, going in about this picture for her. And Tamara's eating it up, y'all. Meanwhile, Tia is getting teased for how bad her picture was. Also in this episode, something that stuck out to me was that Tia was also doing a favor for, I can't remember his name. I think it was Nigel. I could be wrong. I'll have to, if I'm wrong, I'll insert it. Like I'll correct the name. But I think it was Nigel. She was doing him a favor by going to the dance with him because he did a favor for her, like cutting a frog in science class. And mind you, she did a favor for her sister too by taking this picture. So it almost framed it like she was just getting the short end of the stick on all sides. She's going to the dance with somebody she doesn't really want to go with. She took a picture for her sister, but her sister is getting all the praise off of her picture. Meanwhile, she's getting bullied and teased about the picture that she took for herself. I mean, for her yearbook picture. And I felt like it just kind of showed the maturity in Tia's personality, that she's willing to take the high road for some things. And of course, she took the high road in the episode as long as she could, until she was like telling Tamara, like, you need to say something. And Tamara, like, she was just eating the attention up so much that she prolonged it and wrote it out until she couldn't. And until it turned into her getting a taste of her own medicine when being self-centered with the hottest guy, going to the dance with him, and he was all just only talking about himself and just very self-centered. And she realized, like, okay, this isn't fun. I don't like this. He's only talking about himself. And it kind of made her realize how she was acting about the attention she was getting off of her sister's picture, which led to her, of course, apologizing, and they ended up, you know, making up on that. But their personalities in that episode, to me, showed how different they are and opposites, but also their personalities was breeding ground for like a growing moment for the both of them, because Tia ended up realizing that, like, it's not all about looks and what other people think, because she went to the dance with Nigel and ended up actually really enjoying herself. Like, she ended up having a better time than Tamara did. And I don't know, I felt like it was a good episode to show their relationship and how, like I said, they are polar opposites, but their relationship does breed for them to learn from one another and their choices that they make, and then come together, and it always makes them stronger. So love that. Another episode that I want to talk about in the girls' like personalities is like the writers presented both girls polar opposite to us. And I feel like a lot of the times with the way they were presented, you may think good twin, bad twin, like just off rip, because a lot of Tia's attributes can be seen as, oh, she's the good twin, she's really smart, she's responsible, she's practical, she's logical. And then Tamara is very like, oh, she's very outgoing, she doesn't really care about school like that, she's bubbly, she loves to have fun, she's very expressive. You may not put her personality in like this, oh, like she's just like the good twin and all around aspects, makes the best decisions. Granted, Tia makes bad decisions too, they're teenagers, but I wanted to like touch on how their personalities, the writers also showed more sides to them than what met the eye and what we initially got in some of the episodes. Like, for example, Tamara does act off of her emotions. She's not really known to like think things through before she does them or says them like Tia, but Tamara is also, I would like, very patient in her relationship with Tia in some instances, like, and sometimes I felt like Tia would show some impatience a little bit with Tamara in some things and like quick to like kind of lash out on her. And I felt like that needed to be pointed out because that's a dynamic that you wouldn't really, I personally didn't think about when I was a kid and growing up until now watching the show as I'm older. I'm like, well, there's more to their characters than meets the eye and the interpretation of them. Of course, there were some episodes where Tamara would like just jump the gun, like the episode I talked about before with Double Exposure. Tamara like jumped the gun as soon as she saw her face was looking crazy from that cream and immediately asked Tia like, can you please do this favor for me? Versus not putting her sister through that and just kind of like leaving it alone and just, I don't know, let's be honest, I don't think you can reschedule no yearbook picture, but like just taking it like a champ basically. She just was like, oh my god, no, like I can't do this, I gotta take this picture looking like this, you gotta help me. Like just immediately was just thinking about herself in that moment. And like I said, just going strictly off of how she felt in that moment when she saw her face. And there's another episode, and I believe this was in season 4 too, but I'll have to check. And I felt like this episode showed, one, the effect of how Tamara was raised by Ray, but also I felt like it showed another side to Tamara that you may not expect. And so in this episode, the girls like plan a ski trip with their friends, and they're both excited, but Tia's more so excited about her independence. Let's go on a trip without our family, like without our parents, like we're teenagers, it's gonna be fun. Tamara is stressed. Like this is the first time she's ever been on a trip without her dad, so she's stressed, she doesn't like the idea, she's scared. And I felt like that again goes to her sheltered upbringing, because Ray was also panicking that she was going on this trip without him for the first time. And so Tamara decides, and I would say at first she was thinking about herself, she decides she's gonna come up with a scheme to get out of the trip. And I felt like, one, acting on her emotions, being a bit self-centered, and trying to fake an injury to get out of the trip. And we then find out as viewers from Tia that if Tamara doesn't go, she can't go. So Tia was like, suck it up. And it's just like, Tamara, I know you wasn't about to blow this trip for your sister because you were scared. Come on now. But yeah, so I felt like it started out in her normal, personality, like how she always, reacts to things. Like she mainly reacts to things just off of impulse, off her emotions, just thinking about herself. But she then decides to just suck it up and go on the trip because Tia wants to go. So she goes, their friends, all of them go. And when they get there, Tamara is still scared. She's still stressed. And a weather disaster ends up happening while they're there. And while they're there and that happens, now everybody is panicking. Tia's scared. And you see a shift in Tamara's personality where she just goes straight into leadership mode. She goes straight into like, okay, she gets really brave, courageous, and decides like, okay, I'm gonna help everybody. I'm gonna be the leader and get us out of the situation and get us some help. And Tia ends up being the one that is scared, but she then was like, well, I'm gonna support my sister. I'm gonna have her back and trying to get us out of the situation. And I felt like that showed a different side of Tamara opposed to the double exposure episode with the yearbook pictures, because she was then in the end not thinking about herself. She was thinking about everybody else and not thinking about herself in that moment, and only thought like, okay, well, I need to be the one to help us, and was being very brave about it. So I like how that episode and the writers did that to show a little bit more contrast in her personality than that other episode, Double Exposure, where it was just like, oh, I'm just thinking about myself. You need to help me. And it turned into, yeah, first I need to get out of this, but then she's like, no, I got us. Like, I'm gonna be the one to help. So I thought that was really cool. Like, I liked that. It showed a little bit more well-roundedness in the situation. And then also I would say with Tia, a little bit of contrast that I like they showed in her personality and in the twins like sibling relationship was another episode where the girls were fighting and they wanted their own rooms, like they wanted their own space. And I felt like in this episode, both sisters were not being honest with one another, not, sharing how they felt about the situation. But it's just like, ideally, the way the writers portrayed Tia as being a little bit more mature, you would think that she probably would have been the one to come to Tamara first and just be honest and let her know how she was feeling about sharing a room. And in this episode, they're both basically just needing their own space, and Tia was right along with Tamara as far as they were just suppressing their emotions, not talking about how they really felt, going to talk to Lisa about it, and then blowing up on each other. And I kind of like how they showed the difference there too in Tia's personality, because it's like she's not always gonna be like this super mature person. Like, at the end of the day, they are teenagers, but she has flaws too. And then it's like Tamara, yes, she may be a little bit more open with her flaws versus Tia, but she can also, not always think about herself, not always just kind of make Tia be the one to help her do whatever she's doing, and be the opposite, So I like how the writers threw episodes like that in there to show different dynamics of their personality. And again, in that episode, the whole episode was emotional suppression on both ends. But like I said, we got to see Tia showing a little bit, I would say a little lack of maturity, not being the first to let her sister know, like, hey girl, I need my space, this is a lot. Instead, she was avoiding Tamara, sleeping in another room, and yeah, it didn't turn out well. But in the end, the girls were open with each other. It actually brought them even closer together, because they were able to share how they were really feeling and just kind of now be at peace because they're honest with one another. So I really like that contrast. I enjoyed that on how the writers put in different episodes and producers put in different episodes to show difference and just layers to their personalities. So yeah, by no means, y'all, am I saying that Tia is not a good sister or that, oh, Tia's a bad, neither one. I'm not saying that the girls are bad sisters. All I'm saying is they initially, I felt like the writers portrayed them like, oh, this is the stand-up sister and this is like the goofy mess-up sister. And granted, I just want to pinpoint some differences in that and how some of the episodes showed layers to their personalities to show like that's not always the case. Like, but y'all, I think y'all get me. I think y'all get what I'm trying to say. So it's like with the girls' relationships, like with their relationship now, as you know, trying to really learn how to coexist as sisters and twins to add another layer. It's like you're always trying to fight for your identity, because I felt like that is so like crazy. Can y'all imagine just waking up one day, going to the mall with your parent and seeing somebody that looks like you won, and then on top of that y'all are twin sisters, and then literally the next week y'all decide to live together? Like, that's such an identity like crisis, because you're like, whoa, I've always known myself as just an individual, and now literally overnight I have somebody that also has my same face and we're trying to live together and do life together. It's crazy. There's probably a lot of situations where we have suppressed our emotions about something with somebody we care about because we don't want to hurt their feelings. Meanwhile, it's really just building a wedge between us and us not trying to have an honest conversation, which in turn made the relationship stronger and brought us closer together. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this show. I hope y'all can tell, but I'm really excited because I love this show. So I really like just deep diving, and I watch a lot of videos like this on YouTube, so I wanted to create my own. Let me know in the comments y'all's thoughts about Sister now as adults, or even when you used to watch it as a kid. Me personally, I always related a little bit more to Tia majority than Tamara, especially growing up because I'm the oldest. So I was like raised to be responsible, so I understood my girl on a lot of logic, and I'm the type of person, I also like don't wear my heart on my sleeve, so I could relate to her and leading with her mind a lot of the times. But also, I don't make the best decisions either. That doesn't mean I'm perfect. Like, I have flaws or things to grow from. So I relate to Tia on that aspect. Of course, there's sides to me that can relate to Tamara, but growing up, I mainly would relate to Tia. So y'all let me know, like, in the comments, which sister do y'all relate to a little bit more? Growing up or even now, y'all think y'all relate to? Let me know y'all comments about the show, what y'all think. Let me know if y'all like this video and if I should continue the series and do another video, maybe like just a separate video deep diving on a character analysis on all the characters. Let me know. But if you stayed and watched the video this long, I heart you. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.